another Splinterlands video. So AfterSound had this tweet about, when was it? The 5th, so almost like 10 days ago. I liked it, I put it to the side. I knew eventually I was going to make a video talking about this. It's an interesting take, and it's actually something I've talked about a bit in some of my videos, but never had a full video dedicated to it, so I thought this was going to be a good time to talk about it. It spurred some conversation. You can come here and read this. First thing I want to say is, AfterSound might not agree with what I'm saying. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but spoiler alert, I agree with his quote-unquote hot take. I don't even think it's that hot of a take, although clearly people in the comments have some differing thoughts. I'm going to get into it, but before I do, just a reminder, I am Hawks21. I cover Splinterlands here on the channel. I'm also clearly on Twitter here at Hawks21 Gaming, and then I also have a Discord. Come join me in those two spots. Reach out. If you're new to the YouTube community, it'd be awesome if you could take a second to subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let's read the tweet first. Hot take. Splinterlands doesn't need new players right now, and that's not where the focus should be. So first things first, key thing right here is right now, and that's not where the focus should be. No one is going to insinuate that Splinterlands is never going to need new players. That is 1000% not the case. Splinterlands is going to need a lot of new players in the future. The main point of this is right now, and that should be the focus of this take, and that should be the emphasized point. So, what do we mean by that? This is based on the premise that the game shouldn't be wasting time and resources on trying to attract new players during a bear market. This is a period of time, we're in the depths of a bear market. This is a period of time where new project adoption is going to be low, first of all. And then second, there's just not that as much money flowing around the ecosystem as there is during a bull market. During a bull market, people have their crypto values have gone up, so they're more likely to be willing to diversify into things they previously weren't. A lot of people I know right now in a bear market consolidate everything into, their favorite projects or what they consider to be their safest investments within the crypto space, right? There's not much exploration right now. So trying out a new play to earn game in an ecosystem like Hive, where not that many, people are familiar with, the uptake of that isn't going to be very high. It's almost like running uphill. You have so many factors that are working against you in terms of new player acquisition during this period that it's not worth the time, effort, and energy that it would take to see meaningful player growth. When in reality, whenever the bull market, or whenever this bear market's over and the bull market comes back, I have no idea when that's going to be. It could be months, years, absolutely no clue. And I'm not going to pretend like I do. But that's, if trying to get new players and new people into the space is like running uphill during a bear market, during a bull market, it's like coasting downhill. There's going to be tailwinds at your back, whether that be your token price rising. More people are going to be curious, looking for, searching, new different projects. People are going to have, their crypto holdings run up, and then they want to diversify. They want to invest in some riskier things. They want to try out new spaces. You're going to have a natural flow of people into things like Splinterlands. It's almost going to be like running downhill with the wind at your back. You won't need to put as much time and effort into new player acquisition. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't put time and effort into new player acquisition, even during a bull market. They 1000% should. It's just every dollar that they spend, whether that be marketing or whatever the case may be, partnerships, is going to stretch further during a bull market than it would in a bear market. It's almost like just allocation of time and resources is, the key crux of this conversation. It's just a bad time for your main goal and your main focus to be new player acquisition. So that leaves us with what should the main focus be? And I've sort of laid out 3 in my head. The first priority, which is something they've been actively working on for a decent amount of time, was fixing and building a sustainable economy. And I put that into the bucket of sort of health of the game. They've been working on this for a while now, all the way back, I don't even remember when it was, but whenever we had the full reward system overhaul into this focus point system away from the win 5 matches of a certain type and you get extra rewards, that was sort of the first domino to fall. And since then, we have seen change after change after change, trying to stabilize and get the economy to a place where you can build from. And that continues today with the effort to get DEC back closer and more consistently around its soft peg. But, we sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit, I think, in terms of that focus area, right? Once DEC gets back close to around its peg and stays there consistently, which, they've been adding new proposals to add levers to help get it there for a long time. I think that's the jumping off point for, okay, I think for now, let's let the sort of economy rest where it is and see how everything reacts, see how this plays out. All of the mechanics that we want currently available are available. Let's take a breath and see if it works. Again, if small tweaks come up afterwards that should be fixed, then they 100% should be fixed. But main focus area, maybe it's slowly getting time to move on to the next step. And what do I think the next step should be? I think the next step should be improving the game itself, with the main goal of new player retention. No, sorry, not new player retention, current player retention. And then also just increasing the interest level in the game from the people who play. What do I mean by that? I think I'm somewhat of an example. Not a great one, actually, because, I'm obviously still making videos. I'm still talking on Twitter. I still talk on my Discord. It's not like I'm losing interest in the game. I'm more so, if you look, I haven't played a match in almost 2 weeks, right? I've had urges to play and I've wanted to play, but if you come here, and I've talked about this before, ultimately, I'm making, right now it's close to, whatever it is, $17 a day, renting out my entire deck, 36%. So the $17 a day, combine that sort of with, this has been the same game we've been playing for a really long time. The $17 a day almost just makes me like, why would I don't have the urge to grind through the same exact thing over and over and over again if I'm going to make $17 a day not having to do anything, right? And again, I'm not a great example because I have this whole channel and that stuff, but I'm more talking about if that's happening to me a little bit, how do you think that's happening to the people who, don't have the same sort of stakes in the game that I do, right? I'm still constantly reading the Splinterlands Discord, reading Mav Chat, watching YouTube videos, making YouTube videos, talking with people, checking peak monsters constantly, looking for good buys. And that's just because I love the entire ecosystem, right? It's not because necessarily of the specific gameplay. And I think that's what needs to be improved next for, player retention and to spark a new level of interest. So how does that happen? I mean, to me, the main way is through delivering on land, which I understand is a huge overhaul from a technology standpoint, and they're slowly working towards that. But that's what's going to add this new dynamic to the game, where the people that are here, they've been following land, they've known about land, they're aware of it. You know, it's not something that's going to catch people off guard. People are sort of waiting for it. That's going to bring up, you know, a new excitement level. I mean, the other stuff too, where tower defense, you know, if the tower defense game is ready, or, you know, as soon as that comes out, that's going to be another sort of increased, this is interesting. Even GLX. So that's not really a direct tie-in between the given like the SPS, with that the airdrop is based off SPS, the daily airdrop, but that's sort of sparked and invigorated a whole new conversation around Splinterlands in terms of the GLX APR is paying people really, really well. You know, I don't think it's very sustainable. I don't think it's going to last very long, but for a period of time, people who own SPS are benefiting from owning SPS from a launch within the ecosystem. That ties back into the value of holding SPS, and that sparks interest back into the game and the ecosystem. Okay, I need to play to keep earning SPS, because the more SPS I have, the more I'm going to get rewarded as Splinterlands, the company, breaks off into new areas. So whether it be tower defense, whether it be land, they added in a couple new rule sets, which is cool. I don't know, a P to E thing, whether it be the boss battles, for example. Boss battles is a great idea. Whether it even be like achievements or statistic screens, right? I think it's crazy that we don't have a built out sort of in-depth stats. Like, what's my win rate with certain summoners? What's my win rate in certain mana situations? How many matches have I won with Kitty? How many times have I beat Kitty? How many times have I beat Jotun? What's my win rate against Jotun? That type of stuff is interesting and fun, and it's a whole new way to engage in the game. And then breaking off that is sort of like some sort of achievement system, where if you beat Jotun X amount of times, you know, you get, I don't even know what it is, you get something. It can be small, but just something to work towards. So to me, that would be the next area of focus. And that's still not new player acquisition, right? That's how low on the list I think the focus of new player acquisition should be. You know, I think rebuilding the economy was really smart to do before that. I think improving the game for the current players should take precedence over a focus on new player acquisition. And again, that just comes back to, during bear markets, it's a great time to build. After that, you know, once we have the economy stable and the game is healthy, and it's just more of a sustainable ecosystem, once the game itself has improved, then I think it's time, and we need to be ready for the period of time in which new player acquisition becomes the focus. I think the focus then needs to become the new player experience. So still not even, you know, new player acquisition. I think we need to build out the new player experience. So when it's time for new player acquisition, those players are coming in and getting hooked, right? There are grapples into the game. It is a fun game from the beginning, where someone doesn't come in and try the game and they're like, this is just too much. I don't want to deal, right? It's something very easy, digestible. As soon as you come in, you get hooked by something. And there's some ideas. You know, one I saw recently was a ghost card league where the rewards are really, really low, but it's also achievement-based rewards. So, you know, if you win every 5 matches you win with fire, you get a progressive amount of SPS or DEC or whatever it is. And at the end, you win sort of like a fire starter pack or something. Same with water, same with, you know, just some sort of gameplay where you have access to cards where the earnings per match are low, but you get to work towards something that will eventually reward you. And there's other ideas that people have had for improving the new player experience. I don't really have super specific ones. I really like the Ghost Card League idea, where the focus isn't earnings per battle, but sort of getting people into the game, having them play a bunch of matches, and they're sort of earning on a set schedule. And that, I think that would pique interest to, okay, you know, you've progressed through the Ghost Card League. Look what you can do now if you build out your deck. And building out the new player experience before player acquisition, I think, is super important. And only after all of those things are done, and the added caveat that the bear market needs to also turn into a bull market, do I think the main focus of the game should be acquiring new players. So, AfterSound, I don't think this is a very hot take. I agree with you completely. Again, not trying to put words into AfterSound's mouth. He might not agree with everything I said. I disagree with it. I just agree with his main point, and I wanted to expand my own thoughts off of that. Curious what you guys think. I'm sure people have some strong opinions. I would love to hear them. Would probably end up making a follow-up video addressing some of those if I get some good ones. All right, I'm going to stop it there. I am Hawks21. I cover Splinterlands. If you are new to the channel, it would be awesome if you could take a second to like and subscribe. Have a great day. I will talk to you soon and see you around the game.